Hey, what's up, you guys? For those of you that haven't met me yet, my name is Lorena Gutierrez, and this is my personal experience speech. So, how many of you have a certain memory that's triggered by a certain smell or even a sound? Maybe even a certain object triggers this memory. I'm sure many of you just thought about a memory right now. For me, a specific memory that is so vivid for me is triggered by something that every household has. So every time I walk into a household and I see this object, it just triggers this memory for me, and I can feel the tension of that day still. So I come from a household where both of my parents are full-time employees. So it was my job as the oldest siblings to help take care of my smaller siblings every time there was a school break, or maybe it was even summertime. During this specific memory, it's summertime. I'm 14 years old. I can't tell you exactly how the day started, but in this specific memory, it starts with a loud bang and the yells of my baby sister just screaming from pain. I remember I was specifically in front of the sink washing dishes, and I turned around and I saw my sister on the floor and my two brothers just staring up at me. And all I can think is she just slammed her head on this floor. Automatically, I picked her up and I started to comfort her as much as I could, trying to stop her from crying, trying to see if she has a lump in her head, and just trying to do the best to my ability to comfort her. After the shock settles in, I start thinking she has trauma, she can have internal bleeding. So even though I am super scared, I call my mom, I tell her exactly what happened. Of course, she's upset, as any mother would be. She calls my dad, and she calls me back and tells me that my dad is on his way to the house to check on my sister. I am absolutely scared at this moment. I am waiting for my dad. As soon as my dad comes and he shows up, he does not say a word to any of us. So my anxiety is through the roof now. And I know they're upset, and it just makes it worse because I just feel like this is my fault. So my dad hands me my sister, and I can see him go to the other room, and he calls my mom. He calls my mom and tells her, she doesn't look okay. I'm going to the hospital. We need to go to the emergency room as soon as possible. Automatically, my heart drops to my stomach. And all I can think is I just caused internal bleeding to my sister. As we're inside of the truck, I'm doing everything I possibly can to keep her awake. She's nodding off. I'm trying her favorite things. I'm trying to put the window down. I'm trying to play patty cake with her. I even try to bribe her with candy, and nothing is working. We finally arrive at the emergency room, and what seemed like forever, we waited finally to see a doctor. When the doctor finally let us into the room, he asked me if it was her nap time, and I told him it could be, but this is not the reason that she is like this. And we argued back and forth for a little bit, and my dad finally put his hand on my shoulder, and just to let me feel like it is okay, let's listen to the doctor. So I let my sister fall asleep in my arms. As soon as I let her fall asleep, my mom comes rushing through the doors. She takes her from me, and we sit there and we wait so that my sister is able to have a CAT scan. As we wait for the nurse to come and check up on her, my sister, we can see that she is breathing. She's okay. She's alive. So once the nurse finally comes in, she asks us to wake her up. And my mom gently shakes her a little bit, trying to get her to wake up. My sister won't wake up. So we all look at each other in absolutely the most fearful way you can ever look at someone. We all looked at each other. So the nurse came over, took my sister from my mom's hands, and tried to wake her up as well. She starts pressing down on one of the most sensitive parts of your body, which is right here. If you press down pretty hard, it hurts. So I can see her applying pressure to her chest. My sister will not wake up. Automatically, we all have tears in our eyes. And the nurse looks at us and tells us that she needs to intubate her. We are all fearful. We're all automatically traumatized. So then my mom pleads to the nurse to try one last time to wake her up. The nurse tries one more time. You see my sister's hands go up and she opens her eyes. We are so relieved. You can hear all of us just let go of breath. If you guys haven't guessed it, this household item was the object that she had actually fallen off of, which is the island in the middle of the kitchen. Every time I see an island, my memory is automatically triggered with this memory, and it is the most traumatizing memory I have. But it just made me value family even more. Till next time, you guys.